Awesome, thank you. Yeah, so my name is Gabriela de Queiroz. I work for IBM as a machine learning manager, managing a team of open source developers. And I'm the founder of AI Inclusive, and I'll talk a little bit more in the end about AI Inclusive and our ladies, so you can check us out at the website. If you want to get in touch with me, there is my Twitter handle and some additional information on the link tree. So even though we were talking about, what my team does that's around AI and open source and data, I'm here to talk about statistics. So I'm not going to be talking about AI. I'm not going to be talking about machine learning. I'll be talking about statistics. So let me go back to my presentation. Yes. So we all hear about artificial intelligence today. We heard a lot about great insights around AI, ML, and deep learning. And, if you search on Google for these words, it's like the top things that are going to show up. Is if you look for data scientist skills are going to be showing up as well, right? So we all talk about these three main topics, AI, ML, and deep learning. But where is statistics? Where is the statistics in all this world of like AI, ML, and deep learning? Because we don't talk as much about the statistics as I think we should be talking, right? So where is the statistics? Where is the field of statistics that has been around for so many years, and nowadays it's hard to find? And if you go and ask a data scientist, any data scientist, senior data scientist, junior data scientist, mid-level data scientist, if you ask them, what is the algorithm that you use the most in your career? It's not going to be neural network. It's not going to be something fancy. It's going to be logistic regression. So the majority of the problems that we encounter in the industry and even in academia, you can solve having a very good accuracy using logistic regression. So again, even though we hear a lot about deep learning and there is all these fancy models that we can use, in the end, when you're applying something in your job, logistic regression is going to do a very, very, very good job. And I myself can relate to this because the majority of models that I create throughout my career was 80% they were logistic regressions. So there is a Kaggle survey 2020, the State of Data Science and Machine Learning survey that was ran by Kaggle, where one of the findings was, which I was not surprised. So the most commonly used algorithms were linear and logistic regression, followed closely by decision trees and random forest, right? So statistical methods, they are required to find answers to the questions that we have about data. So all the questions, when we get the data, all the questions that we have around the data, the hypothesis that we are creating and the answers that we are looking for, it's going to be found through, for example, EDA, exploratory data analysis, right? And if you know statistics, you understand better machine learning because machine learning is built upon statistics. And there is this glossary that I really like. There are others more like broad and that they have more definitions and comparison. Is if you come from statistics or if you come from machine learning background, how do you translate the words between one field to the other? For example, what we call model, for example, in machine learning, you could call like network. Another interesting one is like when we are feeding as a statistician, you are learning as a machine learning. There are several other ones like confusion matrix, and then the predictions, the inference, they have like different meaning in one field or the other. Another thing about statistics is because neural network that we all talk about all the time, they are somewhat related to logistic regression. So if you have an understanding of logistic regression, for example, it's going to be much easier for you to understand the math, the thinking behind the neural network. So it's kind of like you can think of like logistic regression as a one-layer neural net. And there is a lot for us to know as a data scientist. It doesn't matter if you are starting as a data scientist, you are trying to change careers and becoming a data scientist, or if you are senior data scientist, there are always new skills and things that we need to know, right? So if we search for important skills for data scientists, you're going to get this huge list of like technical skills that you should know. So for example, you should know Python, you should know Hadoop, you should know Spark, you should know SQL, you should know machine learning, AI, data visualization, and the list it goes on and on and on, right? But think about this. What are the main things that we all use every day? So another survey that I thought was, not news. We are still in this process. There was a state of data science report that Anaconda released last year, and if you see this plot over here, you can see that the majority of the time, the data scientists, they are spending on data loading, data cleansing, data visualization. So that's a big chunk. And then later, like very, very small percentage is the model training, the scoring, or deploying models. So think about what you need the most to do your work. Like 80% of your work probably is going to be around data cleaning, right? So creating insights, trying to get insights from the data, thinking about what the data can tell you. And the statistics is going to help you on that process. So remember that statistics is not an old field that you don't need to know. It's the base for everything. And I also think that statistics will give you one of the most important skills as a person, as a data person, as a data scientist, which is the critical thinking. So with statistics, all the questions that we come up to have the data be answered for us, it's around the critical thinking. So remember about that. The critical thinking is one of the most important skills that I think we data scientists need to have. And I love this quote where, they say that when you are fundraising, so if you are a company, a startup, and you are looking for money to sponsor your company, you are doing the fundraising, you say that what you are doing is AI. Oh, I'm doing all these very complicated models. We are using AI, the new technology. And then when you are hiring someone, you say, oh, no, this is machine learning. We are doing machine learning. But when you are actually implementing your model, it's probably going to be logistic regression. We don't say much, I think, in the world that we do a lot of logistic regression, but that is the reality. Like the majority of the models that we do, it's very simple. We don't need to go that far to create something that's meaningful, right? So that's all I had to share. I know that I only had 10 minutes. I want to thank you all for being here. My contact is this QR code if you want to add me on LinkedIn. And also AI Inclusive, which I didn't mention, but I'm going to mention here, is AI Inclusive is our organization to bring more diversity to AI. And we have like several things that we offer. For example, scholarship, events, free tickets for conferences, a lot of knowledge, a lot of material that we share with the community. And for the next 2 weeks, we are running this scholarship with a Fourth Brain. Fourth Brain is a machine learning school. They have a 16-week program where you can join and you can become a machine learning engineer in 16 weeks. And we are offering one full tuition scholarship with the value of $6,000. So if you are interested, you have 2 weeks to apply using the link below. And I hope you got some insights. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Gabriela. I love that you ended with this great opportunity for people to apply for the scholarship. If they didn't capture the link, maybe after you're done with the Q&A, if you could post that link into the comment section on LinkedIn so they can simply click it and go ahead and apply. Great opportunities, $6,000 worth of learning. That's a lot of learning. So thank you for sharing that. I'm going to hop into some of the comments that we received here. Ari Full says, statistics always be there. Love it. Absolutely. You made a lot of people happy with statistics. So Albert says his little nerd heart is so happy right now.
I'm surprised because usually people attack the statistics, right? They say, "Oh no, you don't have to know statistics. It's all about AI." And
Well,
yeah.
It's all about statistics. I mean, I love that when in the presentation you looked up all the skills that people need to become, a professional in data. But then it really comes down to cleaning data, loading data, visualizing data, and we need to make sure we get that baseline first. Learn statistics, learn how everything works, and then you can go deeper. Let's see. Naman says he feels statistics plays a key role in developing different algorithms. Yes, absolutely. Svetlana loves AI inclusive. She thinks it's absolutely amazing. So that's great. Where would people go to find out more about AI inclusive?
So if they go to our website, so ai-inclusive.org,
okay,
there is a lot of information, social media, the scholarship. We had another scholarship that finished a few weeks ago, but we are doing another round with DataQuest as well. So we are always offering scholarship to our community.
That's amazing. Question here from Matthew. He's asking, what resources would you recommend for those getting started in statistics late in their career?
Yeah, so there are a lot of great courses. One of the sponsor for the company, for the conference today, that Matt runs the business, help me, data science business.
Oh, Matt Dancho, Business
Matt,
Science University. Yes.
Yes. So he has a great course. There is a great material that he runs. Any data class, they have also a good path in statistics. There are several books. I would try to get away or not buy the very mathy heavy books that we used to have when I was doing my statistics courses. Try to see something that is more applied, where you can get some data and then get insights, something that's more applied, less mathematical, at least for beginning.
Mm-hmm. Okay, absolutely. And then Fernando is asking, what is the difference between statistical learning and machine learning? Because sometimes he sees them both used, they both use the same algorithm.
Not much. I would say one, it's when you have maybe less data, and the other one, it's more scalable in a way, but they are very similar. And even if you compare, one is built on top of the other. So there are some differences, but they pretty much the same thing.
Okay. Katina's asking, what other concepts in statistics are important other than logistic regression? What are some of the foundational ones?
Well, then you have linear regression, which is the basic one. There is one concept which is correlation, and I have a story here. I used to mentor some folks from a boot camp, and I remember they going through interviews, and one of the questions they got asked through the interview process is, "Oh, can you calculate the correlation here?" And they had no idea what correlation was, because correlation wasn't covered in this boot camp. Okay. So correlation is another one. Thinking about when we talk, I think the audience probably have heard about A/B tests. So A/B testing is nothing other than hypothesis tests behind the scenes, or design of experiments, right? So that's another very important concept, because I would say all the companies, they do some type of A/B tests.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Yeah, moving on to Julie. Julie says, that was great. You've reinforced my inclination to continue to study statistics. So you're moving people in the right direction here. Question from Waleed. Any book suggestions? I know you suggested a course from Matt Dancho. What about books?
Yeah, so let's see. I have a bunch of books over here, but I would say that mine's, let me show you one. Okay. So this one is applied, a very good book, and it's applied. Okay. So something along this line. There is a more theoretical book before this one. It's huge, but there is no application in R, so I would not start with that one. This one is a good book. So see if there are some books with stats and Python as well. I don't remember all the names at the top of my head, but look always for something that you can apply using a programming language, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's easier to learn as you're applying, because then it actually sticks versus just reading concepts and becoming familiar with them. Question from George Ferrigan here. Do you think statistics should be a course that's a must-have to be covered in high school? I see you nodding vigorously
right.
here.
I wish I had, and I think I could be wrong, but I think the majority of American schools, they have some kind of like statistics class. So it is very, very important.
Yes, absolutely. There are a lot of book recommendations that are coming up there. Statistics for Dummies. I guess anything for dummies usually is good. People are saying thank you so much. They really enjoyed your conversation here. Albert said his full of nerd nourishment here today. Last question we'll take from the live audience here from Andre. How many people are trying to get into data science without a stats background?
So many. Like so many. Yeah, I have no idea. I can say like a lot from what I see. So yeah, it's too many. So from like being a hiring manager, I see also like a lot. Like they have no idea about statistics. They don't have any statistics background. So they especially coming from some places, some courses, so they don't have this foundation, which I think it's very important.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, why would you need a foundation, right? What do you need a foundation for? I think it's also very important. Gabriela, I know we are at time now and we still have a lot of questions and comments flowing in, but at this point, I will thank you so much for joining us here today. I know this probably felt really, really fast. That's what all the speakers have been telling me, that it kind of flew by because of the lightning speed talks, but I think that's what the audience actually likes about the DATAcated conference, is they get these little nuggets quickly from experts like yourself. So thank you again.